Hello, making sure everything's working. All right. Well, it appears that everything's working. If it is not, I'll be surprised. So, let's well, everything appears to be working live, so we're going to go ahead and start. Hello, I'm Hawk from Helpful Hawk Healing. Namaskar and welcome to Satisfying Saturdays. Not sure if this will be an every Saturday thing, every other Saturday thing, or once a month, but so far we're going to do it. I found that naming my days of the week is a very important thing. Starting off with Super Sunday, Magic Monday, or Super Sunday, Marvelous Monday, Terrific Tuesday, Wonderful Wednesday, Thankful Thursday, Fantastic Friday, and Satisfying Saturday. That way I start my day with a beautiful way, and that always helps. So today we're discussing daily habits that I know have an incremental effect on our psyche and our hearts. And this comes from my personal experience of using what I have learned from my research. And so I'm looking at where I've come from. So anytime anything resonates with you, put your hand on your heart. It's a wonderful way to live. Anytime something goes on, it's just like, hey, what's going on? So let's take a deep breath. I love myself. I am enough. I am free. It's a wonderful way to start your day. Just being grateful. And so everybody needs to feel comfortable at times. Everybody needs to feel as if their life matters to them, and everybody needs to feel safe within themselves. And we're not taught to be safe within our society. So, what are some strategies we can do that, even though it may not be some kind of deep super healing, what are some strategies we can do that I am enough, I love myself, I am free is a definite one, and each one of these stack on top of each other. You know, so how many of us had some form of trauma in our youth? In our dating lives, our married lives, school, work, society in general. You know, it's just, it's crushing sometimes. People talk about soul crushing. You can't technically crush our soul, but you can crush what feels like our soul, which is our heart. And it sucks. It really does. It's a hard place to live in this world, especially here in the US, which is a very narcissistic society. You need this pill, you need this to make you feel better. You need to watch this show, and everybody needs to have this, and everybody needs to have that, and everybody needs to have the other. If you don't have this, you're not keeping up with whoever. And here's the latest, drama mama movie or whatever. And it's just, our drama daddy movie. And it's a constant bombardment of our senses, of our hearts, of our sensory input that we cannot get there. So to be able to say, hey, look, let's take a break from that. Let's just step back from that. Meditation's a great way to do that. But in addition to meditation, what are some things we can do through the day? You know, how many of us have used alcohol, marijuana, other drugs, sex, porn, whatever, to numb the pain? How many of us had overcritically family members or teachers? How many of us had just soul crushing friendships that all of a sudden we realized they were frenemies? You know, I still have those sometimes. Oh, excuse me, I'm not quite correct out this morning. So, how many of us truly love ourselves? How many of us were truly taught to love ourselves? How many of us woke up grateful this morning just for the act of waking up? How many? How many of us were grateful just to see the beginning of a new day? How many of us believe that we are worthy of our own love? I mean, we weren't taught to be worthy. We were taught that we weren't enough. We taught we were unworthy, especially if we were in religious households. So it's difficult to overcome these things because we've learned by the repetition, not just of lifetimes and centuries and millennia, but also our consistent daily walk in our own life. And it's a difficult thing to overcome. So, excuse me, how can we overcome it? Well, as far as something deep seated, we can use what I term metanosis, which is my combination of a guided hypno session. A lot of people call them guided meditations. It's working in the theta state and it's working in the learning state, right where we were when we were children, when all these traumas and things could have possibly happened. So, how do we make that become something that's no longer existent in our life, or is existent just as a memory and isn't any longer a part of our daily habit of waking up to, where's the threat? Well, it's an interesting concept to think that you can do that. So many times when we are going through things, we don't realize where they're coming from. And we think, why is this happening to me? Why is this person doing this to me? Why is this happening to me, to me, to me, to me, to me? Because we're born with life happening to us. And that's okay. Life can happen to us, to this body, to this sensory input vehicle for the universe. But also, once we get to a certain point of empowerment, we realize that life is actually happening for us, and all these things that seem to be happening to us are lessons that are happening for our own progression. And then after a while, life is happening through us. And then after a while longer, we realize that everything in life is happening as us. And then, once we realize that life is happening as us, we can realize that no matter what is going on, it's happening as us. I'm currently having some financial battles, and my ego is very afraid of any form of success over a certain point because, one, it's never experienced it, and two, it's never, you know, perceived that it's possible, even though there is a fantasy life around that. And anytime there's ever been money, it's been taken away. What's a savings account? Well, the fact of the matter is, I'm looking past that. I'm working through that. And I've been working specifically in certain areas of my life to make sure on a daily basis that I'm reinforcing this is a good thing. This is something to love. This is something to like. This isn't a way of obtaining money and having it. This is a way of money flowing through and as. So that the more that flows through me and as me, the more I can help other people. It's kind of disheartening when things don't go the way we want. Maybe we forgot this detail here, or didn't check that box there, or didn't check this detail here, or didn't check that box there. But that doesn't mean it's not happening. That doesn't mean there isn't a life there. That doesn't mean that people can't tell us what's going on. So it's a matter of, where are we today? What can we do today? So this one little thing that I have every morning: I love myself, I am enough, and I am free. I love myself, I am enough, I am free. I love myself, I am enough, I am free. Well, hey, guess what? I am free. It doesn't make any difference what anybody says about it. It doesn't even make any difference what I see in the mirror. I'm free. I'm an infinite spiritual being having a limited human experience, not the other way around, where I'm a human being who has a soul. I'm a soul who's using a body. But this body can experience some severe discomfort. So, ouch, excuse me. Let's do this one last time, filling your whole body, your DNA with this. I am enough. I love myself, and I am free. So let's discuss what the shadow is. We hear a lot about shadow work. I've discussed a lot about shadow work. Let's discuss what the shadow work is and how it happens. The shadow is those parts of ourselves, good or bad, that we don't want to admit to. Think about that. Good or bad. Good or bad. Bad or good. The person sitting in the spotlight, you say, "Oh, I wish I could do that." You see that person up there singing their heart out, playing their music just with abandon, not caring what contortions their body's going through, as long as the music's out there. Wow, I wish I could do that. Or that person dancing, or that person acting, or that person just letting everything go into whatever the moment is. You say, I wish I could do that. That's your light shadow saying, I'm not good enough to do that. And it can be building houses, it could be being a lawyer, it could be being an accountant, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, it's saying, I'm not good enough. Then there's your dark shadow that says, no, you can't do that. You can't do that because of this thing that happened in the past, or that thing that happened in the past, or the other thing that happened in the past, or the other thing that happened in the past. You know, you're too evil to do that. You're too addicted to do that. You're too afflicted to do that. Your body is not like theirs. Your face is not as pretty or handsome. You don't have the knowledge. You don't have the skills and abilities. You don't have the voice. You don't have, but it's not true. It's patently not true. It doesn't make any difference. It's not true. So, what can we do about these things? How can we work with this shadow that's always there? It's always there. You're not worthy enough. You're not worth enough to make more. You're not worth a better job. So where does this come from? Well, part of it comes from the genetic things. Part of it comes from the Akash, the collective unconscious, non-conscious, conscious thing that Carl Jung talks about. He's the one who invented the term shadow in the first place. But it also comes from beliefs that were put into us that we mentioned at the beginning. Those societal beliefs, those familial beliefs, those school, brothers and sisters, parents, churches, religions, whatever. teaching us you're not enough, 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 you're not enough. Well, we are. We are. Whether we made the basketball team or not, we're still enough. So how do we get past all of this? Meditation's awesome, but I can't get my mind to concentrate. All of these different things. Well, I personally have found that hypnosis does an incredible job, and my shadow work integration method here on YouTube is free, the first module. The question is, are you really wanting to get there? And if you are, how much are you dedicated to that? Because it's a matter of the person that's sitting there with the pain is not going to be the person that's sitting there on the other side. You cannot remain the same and change your life. It's not going to happen. It wasn't until I quit being an alcoholic that I quit being an alcoholic. I mean, it's just that simple. People say, well, I have a disease called alcoholism, whether it's whatever. I don't believe that. I believe it was an unease. It started as a disease and then moved into an addiction. And the addiction to the medication is not the disease. The disease is I had an unease to begin with. So, were you ever told to stop daydreaming? You can't do that. You're a bad boy or a bad girl. Were you ever told to shut up, stop making noise, or grow up? Why can't you just act normal, be normal, or be realistic? Well, that's boring. I'm here to tell you. That's boring. Not only is that boring, but it's just ridiculous. All of that and even more contributes to our shadow. And as I said, none of it's true. And the shadow is a part of you, but it is your best friend. That's the freakish thing. These unwanted, disowned parts of us are our best friend. How incredible is that? Our best friend doesn't seem to have our best interest at heart. Our ego, who wants to hold us small, and our shadow keeps telling our ego to hold us small. Well, that's because it's unfamiliar, and the mind hates anything that's unfamiliar. The baby with its favorite plushie and its same video 40 times a day. You know how many times I've seen the movie Cars? I love that movie. And part of me says, hey, that's a cool movie. And when I see it on, I'm like, click, because I don't want to see it again right now. I'll wait till I have grandchildren. I mean, it's just that simple. Every day for about 4 years. Cars. And it's a cute movie, and I love it, and all the little spin-offs and everything. Hey, but kids like familiarity. And ego likes familiarity. It's our inner child. Our shadow is our inner child, our broken-hearted inner child. So how is it that we can comfort that inner child in a way that makes us feel comfortable? Because I did not grow up safe. We moved, I don't know, 7 or 8 times. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times by the time I was 8 years old. And I went to 1, 2, 3 different schools. That's a lot of moving around. And I'm not saying that our human nomadic situations cannot be adapted to, but what I am saying is when you're trying to build a home and a family and have it be in one place and you're constantly jumping around, well, okay. And then you wonder why children have ADD. I don't believe in hyper-awareness disorder, or I believe in hyper-awareness disorder. I do not believe in hyperactivity disorder. Constantly looking for threat everywhere is a total different situation, and he can't pay attention. He doesn't need to be drugged. He needs to be put into a safe and secure environment, or she. So I know all this seems totally counterintuitive. It's how could these unwanted negative parts of ourselves that grew up with us and are trying to keep us safe, how could they be our best friends when they're so detrimental to what we're working on in our life? Well, because they contain a certain strength. They come from a certain place that if we can realize what happened there and let it go, take that emotion away, then we have a power that is incredible because we know what happened. We know how it happened and we know how to avoid it and we know how to help others avoid the pitfall. More importantly, we take that power and we're able to give that compassion away. One of the greatest things I ever realized was the hardest pill I ever had to swallow was that I was just as sociopathic as the people I was involved with. It sucked. It really sucked. No matter what, it sucked. But you know what? No matter how much my ego kicks back, no matter how much my ego fights, no matter how much my ego tries to hold me down, no matter how much my ego tries to self-sabotage, procrastinate, or otherwise, I know I'm going to be successful. One, if not in subjugating, then eliminating my ego. And two, in getting myself to where I want to be so that I can help people more efficiently. Not just myself, but everyone else. If I help one person on this planet, I've helped the whole planet. If I've helped you, I've helped me, and I've helped we. And that's the important thing. So how is it that we can do this in a way that makes it more open to everyone? Makes it more open to our own heart, makes us more comfortable every day. Well, Lisa Nichols gives us a small thing that we can do, and that is look in the mirror. Look in your own eyes. Use your name. Hawk, I am proud of you for getting out of bed and doing this live today. Hawk, I am proud of you for loving yourself and giving that love away freely. Hawk, I'm proud of you for loving enough people to be able to do these things regardless. 7 times, 7 different things. Then, Hawk, I forgive you for not doing better. Hawk, I forgive you for not being better prepared. Hawk, I forgive you for not loving yourself more. Hawk, I forgive you for not loving others more. 7 different things. Use your name. Look in your eyes with love. And then, the last one. Hawk, I commit to you that we're going to work on ourselves every single day. Hawk, I commit to you I will be as patient with you as I can be today. Hawk, I commit to you I will love you as much as I can today. Hawk, I commit to you that I do love you. Hawk, I commit to you that we are lovable. 7 different things. That's one way of freeing your heart. And this thing right here, where I am enough, I love myself, I am free. Why is it? Think of it soaring, but also think of it, those heavy emotional chains, breaking free, ripping them, shattering them, totally destroying, eliminating, eradicating. So let's get back to the shadow and discuss it just for another minute more. This is the crazy thing. Anything we see in someone else that we don't like exists somewhere in us. And anything we see in someone else that we do like exists somewhere in us. Think about that. Think about that. The potential for every human action exists in every human DNA on this planet. Wow. Think about that. The potential for every human action exists in every strand of human DNA on this planet. And every strand of human DNA would reach to Mars and back 3.5 times. And there's 37 to 100 trillion of them in each of our bodies. That's a lot of potential for action. So every potential action that is possible by a human on this planet exists in every one of those strands. That's a lot. Figure that out. What's 8.5 billion times, say 40 trillion? I don't even want to think about the math. So what can we do? Besides these little things like that, I am enough. I love myself. I'm free. I'm proud of myself for. I forgive myself for. I commit to myself for. And meditation. What else can we do? Well, we can time travel. You do it all the time. You do it all the time. Now, is it like in some kind of science fiction movie? No. No, unfortunately, we can't move back and forth through it that way in our current paradigm here on Earth. But what we can do, as far as it goes, is we can go into our non-conscious and subconscious minds and complete our past and prepare for our future. The most important thing is completing our past, to go back into those things that have happened, to see where we have an emotional charge, to connect it to an event, to unlock it, to remove it and let it go. What an incredible way to time travel. To be able to let go of an emotional attachment to something that happened in the past so that it no longer affects us, so that we can love that moment, so that we can love ourselves in this moment without that moment raining on our parade. It's incredible when we do that. My shadow work integration method, module 1, is here on YouTube free. And it's a very, very in-depth process that goes to one thing at a time. And if you use it once a day, think about it this way. One time a day, 365 days, and in a year, what have you done? Maybe you've gotten to the root of 365 situations that happened in your life and let them go, so that all of the other things surrounding those 365 things are now released. The shadow is not to be feared. When we live from our heart, we realize that fear is what leads us to act from our shadow. Fear is our survival mechanism, keeping us safe. It's all it is. It's all it is. That's all it is. There's nothing keeping us unsafe. By accepting our shadow with love, we can accept our imperfections and those of all others also. Now, the mirror work is a minor daily practice. The I am enough, I love myself, I am free is a minor daily practice. The going through the day reminding ourselves I am enough. The going through the day when we have thoughts, I bless and accept these thoughts. Every day in every way I am getting better, better, and better. Anytime something happens, every day in every way I'm getting better, better, and better. Better, better, and better. Better, better, and better. Better, better, and better. There's energy work, neuro-linguistic programming, cognitive behavioral therapy, energy freedom tapping. A plethora of others also exists. Meditation is one of the keys. Meditation is a key way that we can go to on a daily basis that brings our mind into a focus that it may take a while. It may take a while, but it will bring our mind into focus. I meditate twice a day. It actually gives me more time by allowing my mind to focus, like I said. And whatever comes up, I just let it be there. Whatever you feel is valid and deserves to be felt. There's a reason for it. Feel it till it no longer needs to be felt. And there's some of them that I'm tired of feeling, but I'm still letting them feel. When I work with my clients, I work in the theta. This is the learning state that comes from, that we're born into as children until we're about 7 or 8. We're just absorbing everything. So that becomes a very important place to be working, because it brings us back to the feeling of a child, and we bring ourselves into safety feeling in that state of theta. Then we also can start repeating things in that safe space, and we become whatever we repeat. Anything after the words I am is pure creation. It's pure co-creation with the universe and our mind. I am enough. I love myself. I am free. I am loving myself. Every day, in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. Emil Coué originally said it better and better. I like adding the 3. It all comes down to the words we use and the pictures we make. It literally does come down to the words we use and the pictures we make, which is, for a lot of us, is destructive. I went along for decades. How you doing, Hawk? Sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I was always sick and tired. And then I said, I've got to stop this. People started saying, how you doing, Hawk? And I'm like, grateful, happy, joyful, and thankful. It took a little while, but now then I'm grateful, happy, joyful, and thankful. Every day in every way, I'm better, better, and better. And every day in every way, I am getting better and better and better, no matter what ego sees, no matter what the shadow wants to say. So one thing about meditation is it comes into breath work. Now you can do mindfulness breath work, and you can do mindfulness meditation, but a true transcendental meditation is where you begin to focus on the breath, and you get to a certain point where you let go of everything. You eventually let go of the whole body. Whereas mindfulness keeps us in the mind. It's mindfulness, but it's being full of what we want the mind to be full of, as opposed to what we're fighting with. So keeping that breath work, anytime something happens, okay, let's everybody take a breath. There's no reason for everybody to be upset. It's a paper plate, whatever. It's just a cup of milk on the floor. So twice a day, it's if you can add the feeling of gratitude into it, or you're meditating and you're just grateful for the now. Wow. Gratitude is an incredible place to be. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter what's going on, if you can live in gratitude for the moment, you're there. You're there. And never be surprised when things get harder. That's so painful when things don't work out the way we want. It's disappointing. But it's also a matter of, hey, you know what? Maybe that wasn't the time for it. Or maybe, you know what? I'm going to be grateful for the opportunity to do this and get it halfway right. And then next time I will get it 3/4 the way right. And then next time I will get it all the way right. And after that, it will always be right. Or as right as it can be. Nothing's ever perfect. So our mind wants to keep us safe and in our familiar state and our normal, no matter how uncomfortable we feel this is consciously, is our comfort zone. Anything outside of it is unknown and therefore uncomfortable. So if your normal is uh, beaten ahead since you were a kid and now then you're married and you're getting beaten ahead, if that's your normal, that's your comfort zone. No matter how much you say against it, anything outside of that is uncomfortable to you because you don't know what's going on. At least this is predictable. At least I can predict this is going to happen, 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 this is going to happen. So, like I've said, using my swim method on a daily basis, we'll have a 365% increase or decrease, I should say, a decrease in load you're carrying, even if you only alleviate 1% of your emotional load on a daily basis. That's 365% a year by simple math. I mean, we're not compounding here. It's free here on YouTube, and you deserve a free half hour to take care of yourself on a daily basis. So my suggestion is check it out. It's a wonderful place to be. It's taken me 30 plus years to be able to get to the point that I'm at with that. And while I might not be in the bank account I want to be in, or in the house I want to be in, or in the relationship I want to be in, or the vehicle I want to be in yet, I am in a place in my life that I want to be. And I can and will help you. So thank you very much for joining me, those who have. Blessed be and namaskar.